Right? A fiduciary relationship defines as a person or institution who manages money or property for another and who must exercise a standing care in such management activity imposed by law or contract. Fiduciary relationship, I was talking about that earlier with the 1040 form. Who do we have a fiduciary relationship with? Agencies. Agencies defined. Anybody want to define agencies? Anybody want to look at agency up? Anybody? Okay. I did it for you. A relationship created by express or implied contract by law. Internal Revenue Code have what? I mean, IRS have agencies. An agent that comes out and shoots you if you don't give them money. Anything else? Anything name gang of agencies. So these are who you have a relationship with. Up in lower and middle of the district, John H. Doe is a trustee who turns over the res, which is the W-4, for example. What's the res? The res is the subject matter of the trust or will in civil law, a thing or object. You are the res in the law. Status that captured the vessel. Remember we talked about vessel? What's the vessel? Your name in all capital letters, right? Persons are also considered things. First and last, upper and lowercase. This is the correct way we write our names. It's the correct way it should be written. 3 names. John Henry Doe is treated as a foreign citizen trust. This is the non-resident alien, the name that's on your birth certificate, supposedly, when it's written in the correct form, lowercase and capitals. This is all under international law. When you read it, when you get one of these right here, any one of these legal briefs that I put together, in here it breaks down exactly what I'm trying to tell y'all. And you won't see that it's not just me putting it on the laptop and shooting it up here for you. You see, the actual legal government documents where you can go and find it for yourself. Now here's something interesting. Label. I have a 1040 form. Anybody got a 1040 form? I have. Oh, yeah. Now we see label, we'll think label, you know, shirt, or label you as something, right? Just a little feedback. Yes. Y'all kidding. Y'all need some coffee or something? This is a 1040 form. Alright? This is a 1040 form. Here's the word label. It's there for a reason. When you look up label, anything pertaining to a larger right as a codicil, and then you're going to look at, well, what's a codicil? Codicil is a supplement or any addition to a will. This is the 1040 form. It may explain, modify, add to, subtract from, qualify, alter, restrain, or revoke provisions in the existence will, which means you can end it. Revoke. It's a will. But in certain ways you have to know how to do it. Gift. When you look up the term gift, it's a voluntary transfer of property to another made gratuitously and without consideration, right? We agree with that. That's what a gift is. But according to the tax law, a payment is a gift. Anybody knew that? You knew that? Made without conditions from detached, disinterested generosity, out of affection. Y'all pay taxes out of affection, right? Go ahead on, man. Take $200 out. Any moral or legal duty or from the incentive or anticipated benefits of economic nature. This is in the law. This is what a tax is. It's a gift. You guys have been giving them gifts. Mama's been giving them gifts for a long time. Now here's I'll give you a little breakdown on W-4 forms. It's a general, an employee, and an employee and his employer may enter into agreement. This is letting you know, according to the Code Federal Regulation, Chapter 26, about your W-4 forms. It's an agreement. It's a contract. They're giving you a form. Everything is done in form. They lock us in with licenses. Y'all know what license is, all right? So with licenses, they're third parties. That's why you have a marriage license, driver's license, business license. You're all locked in with it. That's it. Now, this is what I'm gonna do. That's pretty quick, right? Okay. Now, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the one that we played with. Everybody familiar with the Constitution? Is everybody familiar with the Constitution? Everybody familiar with it? What makes you a slave? One bound in servitude and household. Everybody a slave, man? Everybody a slave?
So was this country considered a household or a person? We look at the body of government.
Say it again?
Would the body of government be considered a household or a person?
With me, it's kind of funny because a person is a corporation, but it's a body. It's another body that you've been enslaved through. What happened? You went from private-owned plantations, right, to a congressional-owned plantation. 1865, what happened? Supposedly freed the slaves, and after the slaves were supposedly freed, they gave them, they called them a person. When you go back and read the Constitution, you go back and read the Constitution about the 14th Amendment, and I don't want to get into it because it's long. In a nutshell, the 14th Amendment, let me read just 13th Amendment first. 13th Amendment to the Constitution. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime wherever a party shall have the duty so forth and so on, except to the jurisdiction. These are the key words. This is when they ended the 13th Amendment. Neither slavery nor involuntary servitude. So if there's no involuntary servitude, then there's right, and you voluntarily let them withhold. You voluntarily get a social security number. You voluntarily. That's how it works. Congress shall have power to enforce this article by appropriate legislation. 15th Amendment. The right of citizens of the United States to vote. This is what this was. The 15th Amendment. The 14th Amendment is bigger. All persons. And this is what happened is when they passed this is the first time they created a federal citizenship. Before then, you were all state citizens. Remember, each state is separate from each other. Each state has its own government. Until 1871. The Act of 1871, when it went into the Virgin Mary, or Maryland and Virginia. Maryland and Virginia. Virgin Maryland and Virginia. Now, so those lands ceded certain land for Washington, D.C., called the District of Columbia. In there, they created a corporation. And in that corporation was a federal corporation, which they went out, eventually would try to go out to each 50 states and put in you and I under their jurisdiction. So we think that we're in the state of Florida. Are we in the state of Florida? Who can define the state of Florida? Now, by now, you ought to listen. The state of Florida. Or are you in, I'm sorry, are you in the state of Georgia? State of Georgia, or are you in Georgia, the state? Which one?
Georgia State.
Georgia State. Okay. So, when you go here, these are things you should know too. You write this out. Is this correct? It's correct, right? It's abbreviation. So what have you learned about writing something different from its original, that is something, it means something else, right? This is the correct way right now, Georgia. So that you're in the state. And this is to put you in the federal jurisdiction. That's why when you get your mail, all you know, it's all up under there because they're trying to tie you into the federal jurisdiction. Now, your privileges, benefits, and immunities being born up under this thing. And you know, the 14th Amendment was never